Hello everyone and welcome to Mountain Lake Journal. I'm Tom Halleck. This week a new documentary looks at the 2015 prison break when two convicted killers escaped from Clinton Correctional, the maximum security prison here in Dannemora, New York. The film is a fresh look at the prison break and manhunt that followed from the viewpoint of corrections officers and includes some of the key figures who are speaking out for the first time about the escape that captivated the North Country and nation for 23 days.
One of the few things Clinton was very proud of, and every staff member could hold their head high, was that in modern history we hadn't had an escape from behind the walls of Clinton. And when that happened, that was a shock. And the way it happened was unfathomable.
The documentary called We Stand Corrected, Dannemora was produced by Richie Elson, a filmmaker from Los Angeles who grew up in the North Country in Beekmantown, New York. His father, David, is one of the voices in the documentary who worked for 15 years as a corrections officer in Dannemora. Many of the retired COs who appear in the film say in the days leading up to the escape there had been several fights in the prison yard and then a riot. But when Prison Superintendent Steve Reset asked Albany to allow him to lock down the prison, it was denied.
I don't know why it was denied, but I do know Mr. Reset, and in my heart and in my mind, if he asked for a lockdown, it was needed.
The only response I got was that Clinton was running well, and they didn't see a need for a lockdown.
The former COs say a full lockdown would have prompted a prison-wide search of every cell that may have found the holes that inmates Sweat and Matt had cut into the walls behind their beds to get to the catwalks, tunnels, and steam pipes underneath the prison.
Let us lock it down, we will frisk everything, and then again, not only do we frisk the whole facility, but we do interviews on all the inmates. New York State, in all my time, they absolutely refuse to listen to the people that are hands-on with the inmates. They think they know so much more than we do at the facility.
Elson also talks with former corrections officer Gene Palmer, who is the only CO charged in the escape. He delivered the inmates frozen hamburger meat that contained hacksaw blades smuggled in by former prison seamstress Joyce Mitchell. Palmer insists he never knew about the hidden saw blades. He served 4 months in the Clinton County Jail. In the documentary, he talks about day-to-day being in close contact with dangerous inmates like Richard Matt.
So I would routinely see the same individuals each and every day. So you get to know that person. Yes, I know that he may have committed a serious crime, but I have to let him out to feed him. So I got to stand next to this guy. So there has to be respect so that when I turn my back on him to address another inmate, that I don't get assaulted. When you step into that lion's cage with 6 lions and you're by yourself and the people on the outside are telling you how to get those lions to jump through those hoops, it's up to you not to get bit.
Gene Palmer somehow lost his way as a correction officer. And what I mean by that is he stopped seeing inmates for what they were. He stopped seeing Matt and Sweat as being convicted killers and almost as friends. People he could trust.
2 days after Richard Matt was shot and killed by a Border Patrol tactical team, David Sweat was still on the run and had almost made it to the Canadian border when New York State Police Sergeant Jay Cook spotted him in this field on Coveytown Road in Constable.
My biggest fear was him getting away from me. So I'm like, stop or I started yelling that I was gonna shoot. Stop or I'm gonna shoot. Stop, I'm gonna shoot you.
Cook said he knew he wouldn't be able to catch Sweat, who was running for the woods.
I squeezed off that first round, and it's like the whole world just, weirdest feeling I've ever had in my life, thinking about it later, which you don't notice it at the time because you're going through it, but as the days and weeks went on, it was so weird. It's called auditory exclusion. All I remember was my recoil of the pistol, and I heard something hit him and an arm flew up, and he kind of rocked him forward, and like he lost his balance, like you get running too fast, and all of a sudden back up he comes. I remember him starting to run again, and I remember squeezing the trigger again, and same thing, a whack, and just he dropped him. Down he went.
Sweat did survive and had an additional 7 to 14 years tacked onto his life sentence.